Morgan, and today we're at Bethel High School, where we're going to be asking a couple students and a couple teachers what their opinion is on blended learning. Blended learning is this new program where you can integrate technology with learning. So let's go. What ways do you think technology would create distractions in the classroom?
Technology creating distractions in the classroom would happen if students do not understand that technology in the classroom is for learning. It's not for communicating with students next door in another class about lunch and everything else. I think it's a great means to enhance learning, but they have to understand there's a time and there's a place, and technology works with learning in the classroom.
To limit distractions of technology, what would you do?
Remind the student of the electronics policy in Bethel High School, and unfortunately, when students do not act like adult teenagers, the cell phones have to be taken away.
I think they would create distractions because they get more involved with the phone or the device than what's actually in front of them. So they can just easily just pull out their phone and just not really care about what they're doing or what they were even asking. So it's kind of like some kids might get distracted because they really don't care what the subject is anyways. Wait, what was the question again?
Would you use blended learning at all to help improve learning? Do you think using some sort of technology would help a student be interested?
I think it can spark some interest, but it doesn't take the place of doing calculations, but it definitely could spark interest.
Do you think using technology may decrease interest in class? For example, would using technology make students less interested in the teacher?
I think the teacher's role would change and be more of a mentor to aid them in learning where to find the knowledge of how to do what they became interested in, and then help them with, well, in my case, math behind that.
Yeah, it would be a bit more interesting if there was technology and books, because, you know, if I'm really curious about something, I could just kind of Google it up.
What ways do you suppose students might misuse blended learning?
What will I think? Well, one, obviously you can tell that my students are all busy talking and comparing notes and getting their electronics out, so it's quite a distraction.
To limit misuse, what rules would you set for blended learning?
Well, I can set rules, whether they follow them, because you know you guys are very good at being sneaky. I tried to tell them that they're not allowed to use them, they have to keep them in their pockets.
What ways might fellow students misuse technology in the classroom?
Like using the laptops to go on YouTube or other various social networking sites. And I know this because I've done it before. Such, I do not think that the school has a properly set up proxy to keep away usage of social networks. So that gives the opportunity to go on such networks and such.
Do you think blended learning will cost the school too much money, and why, like for all this new equipment?
Well, I think money is always an important consideration, but as things are changing, as the world is changing, as employers have been looking for students to be able to do more with the technology that's available, I think you got to step up to the plate. I mean, people have to understand that education's not cheap, and as we move into the future, places that are going to employ people are going to want them to be able to do certain things. And I think when it comes to that, parents and administrators and the community's got to understand that it's not cheap and it's not free. So if we're going to keep up, we've got to put up.
Do you think blended learning will cost the school too much money and be a liability?
It wouldn't cost as much because people would bring their own stuff if they made a requirement. But it'd be a liability, whereas people would get mad if something happened to their phone or lost or stolen. And why is my equipment as good as the person next to me? And this would be a liability the school would probably have to either push to the side or deal with.
All right, so that's what the teachers and students think of blended learning, and we're done for the day.